1. Hey, Big Mama here with yet another malicious compliance call center story. Long one this time, hope you enjoy. So I received a call from an older gentleman that recently purchased a virtual assistant, K-Zone Karen Echo, product name Alter to protect the company from ridicule. He already had K-Zone rep on the line helping him with the setup, so I mostly spoke to him. He wanted me to check on the internet and provide them with customer's Wi-Fi password, which I did, after authenticating the customer, of course. Just from this short interaction, I could tell the rep is probably quite new, as he didn't sound too confident and was messing up his terminology. I asked the customer if he would like me to stick around in case he needed anything else, and he agreed, but the K-Zone rep was not happy about that.
Mr. Customer, I have all the information I needed. There is no reason to waste his time.
Oh, no worries. We have customers calling about these Karens all the time. I would love to hear more about the setup process from a professional.
Sure, no problem.
Oh, you guys are great. With the two of you working on it, I'm sure it will be fixed soon.
As I said, I have all the necessary info ready, but if I need anything else, I will ask.
I'll be here. So, there they were, working on the setup, and I was just chilling and listening. I googled the Karen Echo setup guide, and the rep was clearly following the same steps with the customer, but wasn't really doing a great job. He knew the steps in the process, but was quite bad at working with the customer, explaining to him what was needed from his end and leaving this older gentleman confused at times. This is a skill that takes time. Identifying what kind of customer you are working with and how to talk to him so he understands is sometimes not easy. The call was getting longer and longer, creeping on the 1 hour mark, and Karen was still refusing to connect. From the customer's description, I noticed he might be working with his TV receiver instead of his modem, so I stepped in. Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Customer. I might have spotted the problem. Can you describe to me the black modem box you are working with?
Sure, give me a second.
K-Zone rep clearly annoyed that I am listening to him struggle for an hour.
Oh, so you think it's faulty internet after all? That would explain a lot.
Not at all. The internet is running like a horse on steroids. I'm checking something else.
Well, can you check it later? We're in the middle of the setup here. As I said, I will let you know if I need anything.
My apologies. Go ahead. After this exchange, even the super nice and patient customers started to be audibly irritated with the K-Zone rep, as they were trying to do the exact same thing for a third time. Another 15 minutes go by, and at this point I'm certain that they are working on wrong equipment, as the customer did provide a few more details while working with the rep. I know that it was petty, especially considering it was affecting this nice, innocent customer, but I will let you know if I need anything, said twice, is pretty clear. After the fourth try at connecting, the Karen failed. The customer was clearly losing patience and said,
What you are doing is clearly not helping. How about you swallow your pride and finally ask for help?
He is your internet provider, and he said that the internet is working fine. Karen is our product. They have nothing to do with it unless he lied about the internet. There is nothing...
Enough! Ask him for help right now or give me your supervisor.
Oh, P, are you still there? Can you help us?
I will do my best. Now, Mr. Customer, do you have any other similar black boxes from us?
Well, I have one more in my bedroom. Oh, and one more in the kitchen. But that one is standing upright.
Awesome. That one will be your internet box. The flat one is for your TV. We just need to repeat all the steps from last time with the one in your kitchen.
You're kidding me, right? For how long did you know?
I suspected it for a while, sir. I'm sorry.
OP, do you remember the steps to connect this, Karen?
Yes, sir. I have them in front of me.
Hey, K-Zone rep. This will be all. You can hang up now. I don't want to hear one more word from you. Thank you for trying.
I was expecting some backlash from the customer towards my person as well, as I clearly wasted his time with my pettiness. But he just said a few more words about the other rep and asked me to prove him right about letting the other guy go. We repeated all the steps with the correct equipment, Karen connected, and we finished the setup by following the guide I googled. Customer was super happy and even asked if he could speak to my boss to praise my knowledge and explain to him why the call took so long. Ah, what a nice guy. But I explained to him that it would get me into even more trouble as the issue was outside of our scope of support, and that I should have hung up after providing the Wi-Fi password. And also, my manager at that time was not taking positive escalations unless customers really insisted. I also explained to the customer that my numbers are good, so he doesn't have to worry about one long call hurting me. We parted on really good terms, although I kind of felt sorry for the other rep. On the other hand, it was his ego that cost him his pride in the first place, and I got a happy customer and a great story on top of that, so I'd call that a win. Thank you for listening, and Big Mama out. 2. I worked at Scam Home Warranty in the authorizations department a few years ago. I determine if a repair is or isn't covered, and have 16 pages of contract to pull denials. Our call center is in New Jersey, and our after-hours call center is in a South American country. So even though we have customers on the West Coast, in reality we close around 5 p.m. local for Texas. One night here, I'm finishing up my shift, but I'm not allowed to leave until the queue is empty. I'll spare you the office politics, but it's not supposed to be able to receive incoming calls after 9 p.m. But in reality, it's about 9:30 and the very last call of the night comes in, and it's a customer's own tech in Texas with the customer on speaker.
Hurry up and give us the authorization number. This tech has been on hold for way too long and doesn't have time for questions.
Okay, let's start with the make and model and serial of the unit.
No, it needs a condensing fan motor. Are you going to cover it or not?
So, you are refusing to provide the information on the unit.
I said he doesn't have time for this. Are you going to cover it or not?
Frankly, I don't have time for this either, as I got in the office at 7 a.m. that morning. Unfortunately, we cannot make a determination of the claim without the basic information on the unit as part of a diagnostic, and the tech chimes in.
It's a 10-year-old unit and it needs a condensing fan motor. You going to cover this or not?
Fine, I'll humor him. Do you have a part number on the fan you claim this unit requires to have replaced?
No, I have it in my hand. And are you going to cover this or not?
How many horsepower is it?
1 to 2 horsepower, and it needs a new cap too.
And what's your price on this motor and the cap?
$650 for the part, $200 for the labor, and I need another $100 for the hour I was on hold.
I cannot authorize a repair without a part number or any details of the unit it is needed for. Furthermore, this typical repair costs no more than $375 parts and labor, and we do not reimburse for time on hold. I will need to get all the documentation on the unit before we...
Get your boss on the line right now while you still have a job.
So I went over and got my boss, who looks at the diagnosis that's missing 99% of the needed information. But I did at least put the prices in, and the horsepower. Hi, I'm the authorizations manager, and I'm looking at this diagnosis, and I have a few questions about the unit.
I ain't answering no more questions. Are you going to cover this or not?
We need to know if it's covered or not right now. Without the needed information on the unit...
Get your boss on the line now while both of you have a job.
So me and him exchange looks, and go find the VP of operations, who of course left for the day. So we get the next best thing and bring in someone who is technically my boss's boss, but absolutely does not have time for this.
Hello, I'm the head of operations right now. If you're unwilling to provide the needed information on the unit, we will instead require a picture of the failed component to move forward with the claim and determine coverage.
We got the picture shortly thereafter, and wouldn't you know it, the old motor was dirty. Not that dirty, but certainly we were not going to pay this tech close to $1,000 for a job so small, nor were we interested in accommodating or rewarding this customer tech hybrid, which was doing something shady. Yes, I know the irony of that statement. So I wrote up the denial, flagged it for an L2 to deliver in the morning. My boss flagged the claim with his own task, explaining to anyone who looked at it what was really going on, and for any overnight call center reps to inform them to call back during normal business hours. But it was up to me to end the call. I was giddy, excited. I wanted to tell them the jig was up, but my boss put his hand on my shoulder and said I had to play it by the book. Hello, Scam Home Warranty has received the needed information and will be making a determination shortly. The claim is currently under review, and the office is now closed for the evening. No, that's not how this works. We got in before the office closed. This line will continue to remain active until we get the determination, and I don't care how long that takes, but you will not leave this call. Unfortunately, the office is closed. The system is no longer allowing me to input any new information. SHW is not an emergency service, and we are contractually obligated to render a decision within 24 to 48 hours after the diagnosis is received from the technician. If you hang up this phone, I will get you fired and sue you for everything you're worth, you hear me? Thank you for calling Scam Home Warranty. I advise you to have a good day. Click. As me and my boss walked out to the parking lot, boss's boss left once we got the picture in, I asked him if they could actually do it or if it was one of the many empty threats we got all day long. What are they going to sue you for? Hanging up a phone? Let legal handle that. We did it by the book and we wrote it up the way we're supposed to. Looked at the claim the next day, and they didn't even dispute the denial when they got it. Moral of this story? Condensing van motors aren't that expensive, and Scam Home Warranty can and will deny a claim just on price alone, even if it says we won't on every website and legal document. If you or someone you know has a home warranty and you want to talk about it or something, let me know. I'm happy to help you in any way I can. We denied 70% of claims. They can afford to cover one claim once in a while. 3. The outrageously difficult calls are just when you think they can't be topped. They are. This was the early 2000s. The internet was just really starting to get off the ground for job searches in non-technical fields. Walking into a place and being told to apply on their website was almost unheard of. It wasn't the essential thing that it is now. At the time, I worked in the billing department for a major ISP. For reference, I've been a general operator, directory assistance, international directory assistance, billing and internal tech support at various times in my career. That's in chronological order. We covered about 80 to 90% of the US. The call came, as these are wont to do, right before the end of my shift. The customer had called in to get her DSL reconnected, and her account was seriously in arrears. The conversation went roughly like this.
How am I in there back on?
10 minutes trying to get enough info to verify whose account just popped up on my screen. Well, your current balance is X. If you make a payment now,
I can't make a payment. I want my internet back on.
I'm sorry, ma'am. At the present time, you'd have to pay X to reactivate your service.
I have stuff showing I paid.
I'm sorry to hear there's a miscommunication. You can fax those records over to us, and we can get it sorted out.
I can't do that. I don't have money to pay for it.
This was repeated with further variation for close to an hour. I am not sure if she was drunk, but she was slurring as she spoke and sometimes acting like I hadn't told her something I already had. Alzheimer's might be an explanation. I was also getting the full dissertation of her home life. How many relatives used her internet? Enough to fill a moderately sized stadium, which had been shut off for over 2 months at this point, and how we should again turn it back on without her paying us. And unlike when I worked in operator services, I was not allowed to hang up if the customer was unwilling to establish a valid billing method. I was starting to think that she thought the internet service was a one-time payment. Not an entirely unreasonable thought pattern. There were email services that allowed you to dial into their servers for free in exchange for plastering banner ads over their software. Juno actually had a service with a small amount of actual free internet as recently as the mid-2010s. At this point, there were just 2 people in the rather large room. The current supervisor on the floor walked over to find out why I hadn't left, and I was on the end of day shift and was still there an hour after he should have been able to go home. If I had to guess, since this particular supervisor hadn't had direct contact with me and hadn't monitored my performance previously, he thought the duration was somehow my fault. I felt for him. I knew he was tired. So was I. I had also needed to visit the ladies' room for the better part of 30 minutes, so his intervention was, to me, akin to a paladin on horseback with full bardic fanfare playing behind him. The customer was still ranting in my ear, but after some muting to hold a conversation with him, he decided to take the call and told me to go home. I had enough experience in call centers that I seldom if ever had to pass along a soup call. I had never been so grateful to do so. I happily informed the woman that my supervisor would like to speak with her. We traded off, and I collected my things and went to go clock out. I double-timed it to the clock, but wanted to just enjoy breathing for a minute. I stopped by the restroom, got a soda from the vending machine, and then strolled slowly toward the exit while fishing my keys out of my purse. I was also hoping, as we weren't in the best part of town, that this would also get me an escort to my car. Surely if I was slow enough, he'd be off the phone, right? It must have taken me roughly 10 to 15 minutes. As I left, I had to pass by my cubicle. I could see him banging his head on the desk. He looked up at me after a second, with a yearning for freedom that said he had entered at least the 5th level of hell, the hard way, by entering through purgatory and the 4 doors above on a demonstratively thorough and interactive tour. The next day, he stops me in the hallway to tell me how it went. The call, apparently, went on for a further hour and a half. He wasn't even sure how he'd managed to finally get her off the line. He did say that he was pretty sure my SIP calls, if all of the few that I'd had were like that, had to be record-breaking. 4. Many moons ago, I worked in a call center for a card protection company. Customers would take out essentially an insurance policy with us, and in return for a monthly fee, we would securely hold their card details for them and contact banks on their behalf to cancel the cards if they were lost or stolen. More useful if you're the type of person who has multiple credit, debit, and store cards from different places, and don't want the hassle of contacting all of them individually if you lose your wallet. One call to us, and after we've confirmed security with you, we can do the rest for you. I had only been working there a few months when the peak of the PPI scandal started to surface. Our company did not, nor had we ever offered payment protection insurance with any of our products. However, our biggest rival company had just been very publicly exposed as mis-selling PPI to most of its customers. I remember being briefed the morning the news broke and warned that we'd probably get a lot of calls from worried customers wanting to know if they were entitled to anything back from us. As frontline customer service, we were told to confirm security and see if there was anything else we could help them with before handing them over to customer relations to deal with explaining that we weren't paying out because we hadn't messed up in the first place. This post isn't about the customers who got that far, though. This is a shout-out to the customers who started and ended as my problem, with no means to pass them on to anyone further. Good morning. Thank you for calling. My name is Yossi Phoenix. How can I help you today?
I've got a letter.
Internally, I'm thinking, congratulations. Did you call me just to tell me that? Okay, is a letter from us?
Yeah?
Right. And what does this letter say?
I don't know. I just saw it's from you lot, so I rang you.
Of course you did. Why would you bother to read the letter before calling? Okay, well, I'll need you to tell me what you need help with before I can help you. So you're best off reading the letter first. At this point, my manager is hovering and tapping her watch, indicating to keep calls as short as possible, because we had such a high volume following the PPI exposure in that morning's papers.
Oh, where did I put it now?
I hear fumbling around in the background. Why don't you go and find the letter? You can read it over and give us a call back when you're ready, and we can go through everything then. They're not listening. The manager is tapping. What did she expect me to do? Hang up in the middle of a call just as I was starting to get some information? Okay, probably exactly that, and I'm not so sure this particular caller would have noticed anyway. They were off in their own world by this point, carrying me all around their house on a cordless phone. I didn't fancy being responsible for them calling back later in a fit of rage, because their first agent had hung up on them either, though. So I took the markdown I knew was coming. Hello? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Just a minute. I know I had it somewhere.
I've already lost the will to live. Don't worry, if you can't find it, I can bring it up here on the system if you don't have it to hand. How silly of me to assume that you might have the letter in hand when you called me about it.
You can do that? Great. What does it say then?
I will just need to confirm security with you first so I know who I'm talking to. You don't happen to have your membership number handy, do you? I know it's a long shot given the letter situation, but you'd be surprised.
My what? What do you need my bank account number for?
That's not even nearly what I said, but okay. No, your company policy number. Don't worry if not, I can find your account by other means, but I'll just need to ask you a few extra security questions. Could you tell me your name first, please? I'll search it in our system, and then I'll be able to confirm some other details with you.
I'm Mr. David Scratch and Sniff, born on the 19th of the 12th, 1953, to Michael and Minerva Scratch and Sniff, in the middle of bloody nowhere.
I'm frantically writing notes down and startled by how informative all that was. I searched the surname, nothing. The date of birth, no one matching the name or address. Address, nothing. I can't seem to find an account for you on our system. Are you sure it was this company you're with?
The card insurance, yes.
Well, yes, that is what we do, but there are several companies that offer similar protection. Are you sure it's this company that sent you a letter?
Oh, here it is. I knew I had it around here somewhere.
By now I'm miming tying an imaginary noose around my neck. Oh, you found the letter now. That's brill. You should see the 9-digit membership number.
Says here you owe me money.
Well, if you could just tell me the membership number in the top right of the letter, I can bring up your account and we can sort that out for you.
No, you have to send me a check or something, says here.
I'm pulling harder on my imaginary noose. Well, in order to do that, I need to access your account. Please tell me the membership number on the letter. It's 9 numbers long, and it's in the top right just under our address.
1, 2, 3, 4, ABC.
Of course. Are you sure that letter is from us? That sounds like a policy number format used by our rival company. What does the letterhead say?
It's right here. Shizer Financial Solutions.
We are not Shizer Financial Solutions. You have called a different company. We cannot help you if you don't have an account with us, and we didn't send you any letter. They did. They are the people you need to call.
Well, you're all the same, these big banks, aren't you? Can't you just send me my check?
We aren't a bank. We insure personal belongings and cancel lost and stolen cars by contacting the bank on your behalf. If you have a policy with us. As I say, you do not have a policy with us, so you will need to contact them to discuss anything mentioned in the letter they sent you.
So you do the same thing then?
As I mentioned earlier, yes, there are several companies who offer card protection. We are only one of them, and we don't have access to any other company's databases.
So you're not sending me my check?
I'm gently face-desking so the caller can't hear my thuds. We at this company have never offered you a check. You will need to contact the people who promised that to you in order to get it. We have no information whatsoever. I cannot help you today.
But I gave you my policy number. Why won't you send me my money?
That policy is not with us. You have called the wrong company. Your policy is with Shizer Financial Solutions.
How do you know it's theirs if you don't work for them?
Because you just told me the letter was addressed from them.
Oh, that's right. Well, then why did I call this number?
Face-desking intensifies. I don't know. All I can tell you is that you don't have a policy with us.
There's a phone number here on the letter.
And is that the number you called today? I ask, praying for the penny to tumble. He reads out the rival company's phone number. No, it's not. That's not our number. That would be the number that can help you today.
Oh, perhaps I should give this number here a try and see what they say.
Perhaps.
I'll ring you back later if they give me the same excuses. I want my money.
We won't be any more equipped to help you then, but I wish you luck with calling them. Without thinking, I wrap up the call in the usual autopilot way by asking if there was anything else I could help him with today. Before the sentence was fully out of my mouth, I knew it was coming.
Yes, could I speak with your supervisor, please? He needs to know what terrible customer service you give.
By this point, my female manager has been listening to the call by my side for a little while, waiting to be summoned for the inevitable escalation. Hello, I am Yossi Phoenix's manager. How can I help you?
No, you're not. I want to speak to someone higher up.
I can assure you I am. Now, what is the issue I can help you with?
Oh, great. Another one.
Excuse me?
Look, your girl owes me money and refuses to send me my check, and she's trying to send me around the houses ringing all the numbers in the world before I can get what's owed me.
Okay, firstly, Yossi Phoenix is a frontline customer service call agent, not my girl. Secondly, neither she nor this company owes you any money. And as has been explained to you multiple times, my colleague has in fact gone over and over her line of duty by even telling you who you need to contact, as you are not a customer of ours.
Now, you don't understand.
No, you don't understand. We're a customer service. You are not our customer. We are not here to serve you. If you wish to take out a policy with this company, I can transfer you to our sales department. Otherwise, we have nothing else to discuss. I don't want another stupid... Goodbye, then. Have a lovely day. She hangs up. I could have kissed her in that moment. Instead, she sent me on break to refresh my brain from the stupid, and I used it to buy her a big share box of Maltesers as a thank you. 5. Background. At the age of 36, I live in my hometown in Scotland, where I was born and grew up, went to school, and have my current job in retail for nearly 4 years now. This tale, among others that follow, are from my job before this, where I worked in a call center for a national broadband phone and TV provider. I was in the business vault for broadband and phone line, dealing with customers which I dealt with either over the phone or live chat over the 10.5 years I was there before I was let go. That is a story for another time. This story is from some point whilst working there. It's worth keeping in mind that any names of the customers me and the company I did work for have been changed, obviously to protect identities. Cast for this story: Scotch, take a wild guess, hot stuff. EC, email customer. CM, cool manager. Went through a couple whilst there, but at this point in time CM was awesome. This story took place when Windows 7 was out for a few years, and the customer decided to upgrade from their old XP machine to that. Emails being one of the last things he was looking to check, so this is around 2011-ish. I get a call. Welcome to the business support line. My name is Scotch. Who am I speaking to today, and how can I help?
Hi, my name's EC and all my emails have gone. I need your help. They're critical to my business, you see.
Sure, let me get some account details from you, and let's see if we can get the problem fixed for you today, EC. I do the account verification. Thanks, okay. So the emails you lost, can you give me a bit more information about that? How do you normally check them? What setup do you have?
I had a Windows XP machine. I used a program that came with it. I think it was Lookout Express.
Yes, he said it that way.
And I used it in conjunction with the email you provide, which I get my client orders from. I was using it for 10 years. It had all my emails in folders.
Outlook Express, you mean? I know the program you're talking about. I can certainly help you with that, to see if we can recover or restore those emails for you. Thinking it would be importing from a PST file, or looking for a backup if you had one.
Well, I have actually invested in a new computer, upgraded from XP to Windows 7, and my IT guy got it all set up for me. Getting Office installed with the paid-for Lookout Express on it.
Read Outlook 2007.
And when he put in my email info, none of my emails downloaded. Though this is the first chance over the weekend I've had to call you about it. And when I go on the line,
He said that too.
I can't see them through your portal.
Outlook Web Access. Thinking this was a bit strange, I talked him throughout remote access software, Go to Assist, and got to his screen, which he was happy to do. That's me now on your screen. I'm going to look at the settings on Outlook to see what I can find out for you. I checked the settings and all appear fine, but I did notice that the option for leave a copy on the server was not checked. Do you see this option here?
Yes, I do. Why are you showing me this?
Just want to let you see something. If I close this program and send you an email from our test account, will you log onto the portal with me still connected, and we can both see this email? He's a bit hesitant, but not grasping what was to lie ahead.
Okay.
He opens it. I send him a test email, and it appears in the inbox. As you can see, the email is there. Can I get you to close the portal for me, and open the email program to get the email from me?
Sure.
He does so.
Right, I can see your email there, but I already know the mail account is working.
Now, if we log on to the portal again, you will see that the email is gone. The customer logs on and sees the email is gone. If you remember EC, that option I showed you earlier, it was selected in Outlook Express, not to leave a copy online, and you have been downloading your emails like this for over 10 years. We, at Shitty ISP, won't have a copy for you.
What? What are you trying to tell me? That all my previous emails are gone? I no longer have them.
Well, EC, think of it this way. When someone sends you an item via the post, it gets sent to the central hub, then to the dispatch hub, then gets delivered to you. Emails work in the same idea, that when a person sends you an email, it gets sent from their services like the central hub, which then forwards to our services, the dispatch hub, then to your mail client. Unlike the post, that little box I showed you requests us to keep a copy of the email on our services for you. Without it checked, then we won't.
So I have lost everything. What are you going to do about it?
Well, you see, I'm sorry to say, but there is nothing that we at Shitty ISP can do for you. As that option was set up like that, the majority of configurations like that are the way they are. You mentioned that you had an IT guy, correct? Did he configure any backups for you, or do you still have the old hard disk that you used? Your IT may be able to pull it off that.
I no longer have the hard drive, as he took it and destroyed it so no one could gain access to it.
Well, you see, I have checked that box for you. So we will, moving forward, keep a copy of your emails, but for the previous 10 years worth of stuff, we can't do anything about that.
Get me your manager now. I'm not having this. I am one of your valued customers, and you can't treat me like this. I will lose my business because of you.
Please calm down, EC. I understand your frustration there, I really do. However, my manager will advise the same. Nothing we can do, and speak to your IT in case there is a backup of it.
Did you not hear me? Manager!
Please hold whilst I get my manager for you. I disconnected from my remote access, went over to CM, who was in the next bay from me, advised him quickly of the situation, and he asked me to transfer the call to him and update the case notes. Okay, EC, I have spoken to my manager. His name is Cool Manager, and I am now transferring you over to him. I updated the notes, saved them, then went on to take a few more calls. Around 45 minutes later, I took my break and found CM. So, CM, what was the outcome of that call?
He's going to speak to this IT guy for failing to back up anything. But he really was clueless on the whole email thing. Not that I can blame him, as IT is not for everyone. But he should have at least had a backup of the stuff, or his IT guy made him aware of it.
I hope that he and the IT guy do find a resolution. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Please Hold, number 6. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. When's this go up? I don't know. It goes up on the 14th. Well, I have to remember I have a pooper coming on the 16th. They're meant to come in the afternoon, but that generally means I'll need to be up at 11 in case they arrive early. Because they do. I wonder if they'll have enough sense not to close the door. This is going to sound paranoid, but I don't want strangers in my house right now. For obvious reasons. But I also don't want them touching a damn thing. It's like, I don't want you touching the door handle, because I'm going to have to sanitize that when you leave if you do. Right? That's basically where my head is. I look at the world right now, and it's just covered in filth. And glitter. Mostly filth. You've seen Westworld, where, you know, the Evan Rachel Wood's character keeps saying, I choose to see the beauty in this world. Well, I only see the poopy. So, there we go. That's just where my brain is right now. Hopefully it won't always be there. Okay, and with that I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourself.